Hello everyone, welcome back to another Trying to Explain series where I'm not trying to explain why I'm playing these games. I'm trying to explain the plot of the game without sounding ridiculous. Going back to this game, I'm surprised by the quality of it as this is where it all started. From this to Game of Fate to Surveillance, and the quality has only been improving ever since. So let's begin. Chapter 1. You start off being woken up, given CPR like mouth-to-mouth resuscitation by a beautiful girl. But you're given CPR for no good reason because he just fainted. He wasn't drowning nor had a heart attack. If anything, he most probably had a concussion from falling hard. You'll judge for yourself in a sec. So you are given your first choice by choosing which girl's hand to help you stand up. This is the first time you meet the first two love interests, the doctor He Xiao or the gamer girl Se Han. Then we're taken to a flashback, and initially I thought it was a continuation of the story because the game didn't have any title screen whatsoever to say that we are taken to the earlier part of the day where he woke up and had to do deduction on where his roommate is. Soon, Se-han appears with a Nintendo Switch, a very subtle way to say that she's a gamer, and you can either be bitter by saying that girls shouldn't game, which is nonsense. Suddenly, she invited us to a horror escape room and we're asked whether we are a couple to get a discount. And if you're an Asian like me, of course you'll lie or do anything to get a cheaper price. Then the guy, being the coward he is, meets the third love interest playing the ghost. You can either play along or take her shoe, which is the funnier option by the way.
趁你不备，偷你鞋子。
干啥？给我了！
But you still faint either way. And I don't know how you can get scared when the girl is that pretty with like zero scary makeup. Then you go back to the earlier scene, continuing it. And before leaving the place, however, the manager wanted the actress to apologize, but you can choose to be on her side or the manager's. Immediately after that, the actress asks us for a date, leaving Se-han on her own. Xiaoye meets you outside with the manager's car keys for some reason, and they both ran off with the car. I'm surprised they aren't both arrested for Grand Theft Auto. The date is basically a montage of her in slow-mo looking good, which this game loves to do by the way. On the way back, you notice Se-han is being harassed by an uncle, and you can either save her by going head-on or sneak attack, but sadly you'll be called a coward if you do. Either way, you get hit and have to be treated by Se-han back home. The next morning she greets you with a breakfast and offers to spoon feed you. This guy is oblivious as the flower, not realizing it's being pollinated. Soon after, Xiaoye appears at your house even though we never gave her our address, and the chapter ends with the protagonist hiding in his room. Chapter 2, we start off the chapter with the protagonist being ambushed by Se-han and Xiaoye as they're both arguing who to take care of you. And the protagonist comes up with a brilliant idea to calm them both by offering a drink, only to realize there is only one drink in the fridge. You can either give one of them yourself or split between the two. And soon they immediately gave an ultimatum already, even before in a relationship. That's a red flag. If you use Xiaoye, you are taken to her dance class and will be shown her dance montage. I'll give them credit where credit is due. This is so much better than what we got from Knowledge or No Ladies Avril Lavigne. You can at least see some resemblance of dance here. Or if you pick Zahan, she'll ask you to do a ritual for ancestor worship. After those activities, we meet Shauna, the younger sister type that calls you Kuku all the time. She explains that she got scammed and her roommate kicked her out. Jeez, tough luck. And Sehan initially disagrees to let her stay due to the contract that we never see, although you'll see in a sec. You can pick the option to volunteer to sleep on the couch, or let the girl sleep in the couch, or a bold idea in which you'll be sleeping in the hallway outside, if you know what I mean. And we see a montage of them living happily together until it is revealed that she has been secretly studying for her diploma while telling her parents that she's working, as she dropped out of middle school quite early, but the parents found out that she's been studying diploma and somehow they disapprove of it. That's not very Asian. Honestly, this really just shows how dysfunctional her family is. An unknown time later, the three girls ambushes him, saying they would want to hang out with him, so you can either pick one. Xiaoye brings the main protagonist to her house and meet her dad. Zahan brings you to camping trip for an overnight stay, talking about sad contract before living together, or you help Shauna move in her new place. After this, he got a text from his dad saying that Mark invited him to a reunion. At first, our protagonist refused, but when told that the goddess in quotation is coming, he immediately agrees, but the requirement is to bring your +1, since he officially doesn't have one. And then Xiaoye magically appears, suddenly knowing that he needs a +1, so she volunteered, and that's the end of chapter 2. As you can guess, chapter 3 starts with Zahan and Shauna also coming out of nowhere and volunteers to be your +1. Whichever you picked, once you arrive at the party, you either tell the girl to act like they're not in a relationship, or they do. Once inside, you can treat them like you are really in a romantic relationship or not. You can either be humble or show off your partner. And then the goddess is revealed to be Sheying, the childhood love interest, the one everybody wants to be with. Mark suddenly calls you to help him propose to Sheying with a bouquet and a romantic song prepared. But funnily enough, you can troll him by playing a pop song or a sad love song. If you are a human being at all, you can sense the secondhand embarrassment from this whole ordeal, even though you are only a viewer. Sheying rejected him in front of everyone and stormed off.
That's rough, buddy.
The protagonist catches up to her and you can reveal whether the relationship is real or not to Sheying. And it also revealed that Sheying is one of those LinkedIn career coaches that advise people on their career path and future trajectory, as she immediately asks you what your degree is and how it is related to your current job. A very classic Asian. The protagonist tells her that he can't find a good job, that's why he's stuck working where he is right now. And there's also a flashback scene of their school days together, and this is the moment that I realized that the writer definitely has a favorite, because the effort they put in for this singular character has so much lore compared to the rest that it is very unfair. But anyway, she agrees to help him find a job. After this, you got a message requesting for repair in one of the apartment unit. He is the property manager, if you haven't noticed, because this is probably the first time we see him work at all. And coincidentally, you meet the doctor you met in chapter 1. And without any context whatsoever, we get a dream sequence of the doctor being a hardcore sadist. Even though we barely hang out with her, how does he know? I don't know. At first I thought this was real, but turns out it was a dream sequence. And somehow the girls set up a birthday party for him. They play a game where he needs to guess which lipsticks is whose. If you pick Xiaoye, she gives you another dance performance, yippee I guess, while others just gives you a peck in the cheek. And soon after that, you guys were playing fireworks and another montage scene of having fun. But after the party, he got a message from a company he was applying to and immediately got an interview. What a coincidence. I wonder who set that interview up. And that ends chapter 3. Oh, would you look at that? Chapter 4 begins with Sheying being the interviewer. Wow, what a shocker.
Honestly, I'm actually shocked.
With a job guaranteed, you resign to your part-time job only to be summoned by the big boss. And turns out, she's a cougar. No more, no less. After that whole fiasco, Sheying summons the protagonist only to give a whole ass MacBook as a gift to help him to do his job better. We got another flashback revealing that she wrote a love letter to someone at the last day of school. Gee, I wonder who she wrote it for. He was initially invited to partner with her in the interview with the client, but it turns out to be Sehan. Sehan requested you to stay, but you can't be there due to conflict of interest. Hello, his entire job is a conflict of interest, Sheying. Don't be a hypocrite. Anyway, once the interview is over, They both invited him for a completely different event. Sahan asks you to practice line reading with her, while Shaying is actually telling you to, work again what you're supposed to be doing. But both outcomes will lead you to Yu Xiao somehow being able to enter the office building to give him dinner to eat, while Mark also comes after office hours to catch up, I guess. They really need to reevaluate the building security. How are random people entering the office? So the protagonist gets drunk with Mark as they both had a bro moment till he passes out. The morning he woke up, Shaying informs him there has been a leak and the source is from the protagonist's laptop and that he'll be fine for his mistake. And when you think it's all over, it's not. Meanwhile, Lisa suspiciously tells you to go to an apartment room, and once you reach there, a young guy opens the door and says that they are going to quote-unquote play together. If this game was rated higher in the age group, this would mean a completely different way, ending the chapter with a bit of an ick. Chapter 5 starts off with them playing Mahjong, which we all know if this game was rated any higher, this is not it. You are then summoned by one of the major stakeholders of the company only to meet Lisa again, and Lisa just blatantly shows her favoritism in front of everyone. Once you walk home, you got ambushed by Shaying, Yu Xiao, and Lisa on which mode of transport to take. If you pick Lisa, she will be giving you branded clothing. If you pick Yu Xiao, she will be writing letters for your future self, as she writes instructions on how to deal with dementia, high blood pressure, basically all the disease that all people usually get. My only question is, why isn't she giving advice to the protagonist now on how to prevent those? She's literally a doctor. You should advise and prevent, not wait and then deal with it. If you pick Shaying, however, we get a long montage of their moments from their school days to the present to really emphasize how much the writer really likes this character. It really feels like the Legend of Korra season 1 compared to the rest of the season. You can really tell the quality difference. But after that, Shaying invites Mark to meet up to confront him, to make him confess about leaking the information, only for him to ask what she sees in the main protagonist, which is completely fair, as Mark seems to have his life settled at the very least. You can defend her by telling to pick someone his own size. Well, that clearly didn't work out, so you either let Shaying help or go to Lisa for help. Either way results is the same outcome, not getting fired. And the main protagonist invites Lisa to bargain in a flea shop, even though she's like the richest person in the whole city probably. But she's still Asian, so of course she gets excited for getting items with cheaper price by bargaining. And also exposing her to childhood toys to make her feel innocent fun she's been yearning this whole time. This chapter ends with Shauna being blackmailed by her own brother. Talk about toxic family. Honestly, I don't know why they bothered with chapter 6 because the entire chapter only consists of which method you pick to help Shauna. If you pick Shaying, the brother will be jailed for a few days for minor crimes that they came up with out of thin air. If you pick Lisa, he will be threatened by essentially loan sharks as the brother has a loan from her. Talk about businesses that she's not involved in. If you pick Sahan, you will trick him into being sent to Myanmar, which is borderline human trafficking. If you pick Xiaoye, he will be frightened till he passed out like we are in chapter 1. And if you pick Yu Xiao, she will literally borderline kill him with her medicine if we didn't intervene. Anyway, you'll be invited to the hot springs to basically pick the ending of your choosing. This one is a very short chapter. Alright, lightning round, the endings. If you pick He Xiao, she'll tell you that she'll be going through military service for a year. And after being gone for a year, you get a mysterious phone call from a hospital telling you to come immediately. This game basically bait and switch you into thinking she died, and not long after, she already talks about things that she wants to do to you, and I'm guessing pegging is probably in the list. If you pick Shauna, you'll get a scene where you are both living happily together and they play charades and it just ends, literally. If you pick Sahan, you can either bro zone her or be in a relationship with her. Finally, a game where we're not the one getting bro zoned. There is sort of an initiation of joining her bike gang, I presume, or you live together in one apartment where you've been living this entire game. If you pick Xiaoye, she will be the one proposing to you with a wedding dress and everything, and of course the father tests you with the Monty Hall problem.
Are you trying to Monty Hall me?
And the last choice is picking a location for her dance class. One will show you her class, one will show you a wholesome scene of the father dancing like every old Asian people in the park. If you pick Lisa, she will ask you you whether to sign a prenup or not. If you do sign, you'll be working for her for the rest of your life. If you don't, you'll be living that nepotism life as no one dares to question you. Last but not least, Shi Ying's ending is the most impactful one, as the plot twist is that she planned to confess to the main character on the last day of school by snugging her letter into his bag. But turns out that Mark stole it. So she had lived a few years thinking she got rejected. The funny part is that when you pick a certain choices in previous chapters is that Mark will confess to you. That's why he stole the letter, and he's not jealous of you, he's jealous of her for stealing you away from him. But the vanilla ending, she plans a 5-year path for you. Honestly, I need her in my life because I can't even do it for myself. And if you pick the I want it all ending, you either die from being murdered by them or you become the mate for 6 wives. A fate worse than that, and honestly, this ending sucks ass. And that's it. Finally. Honestly, this game is an all-rounder in my eyes. It is funny, have thoughtful story moments, and a well-done production value. So if you ask me, yes, go play it, honestly. Thank you for watching, and as for the next video, I have no idea.